Welcome to the Cassandra Mack channel. Please note that all content here is shared from a biblical point of view, and I post as I'm led by the Lord, not via validation, approval, or agreement. Respectful discussion is always welcome and encouraged, but comments that are disrespectful, divisive, or that contradict the message that I'm teaching will be deleted and you will be blocked. If my teaching doesn't resonate with you, that's perfectly okay. Simply go where you feel aligned. And there's no need to announce your departure. We are not the airlines, so you are free to take off and not get on board at any time. Let's keep this a safe space where we are on one accord. God bless. Welcome. Today's video is being done by popular request. So many of you who have YouTube channels of your own have reached out asking the question, why do you have a hater who claims that they can't stand you, they can't stand your content, but they can't stay out of your comments? They watch every video. They are the first to comment on the video, yet they claim not to like you. How do you make sense of the sick and twisted mindset of the troll who claims to hate you, but they can't stay away from your content? You've seen them in your comments. Maybe you've even gotten them in your DMs. That one person, or maybe there's more than one, that seems to have a personal vendetta against you, and you don't know them from a can of paint. You would not recognize them in the Walmart parking lot, in the Target, in the Costco. You have nothing to do with them. They have nothing to do with you, yet they have this sick attachment to you. They claim to hate your content, your messaging, your voice, your tone, but they're on every video leaving a novel-length paragraph about why they don't like you, why they don't like something you said, as if you're going to sit there and read their whole novel. And if you've ever wondered, well, if they hate me so much, just leave. You're asking a good question, but the answer isn't that simple when you're dealing with this troll type of mindset, because it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the sick and twisted mindset festering inside of them that you cannot do anything about. You can't jump in somebody's mind and give them common sense, wisdom, and sound thinking and emotional stability, right? We can't do that for other people. And so let's begin to look at why this happens. We're going to break down 5 core reasons why a troll who claims to hate your channel, claims to hate your content, claims to not like what you do and how you do it, why psychologically and spiritually they're just unable to stay away. Today's video is being brought to you by my book, Simple Prayers for Spiritual Warfare. Say a prayer for your trolls. Simple Prayers for Spiritual Warfare. And this is a book of Bible-based prayers that can be said in 1 minute or less to help you stand in your power and your authority as a believer when you're dealing with spiritual warfare. The link is in the video description box for those who want to check it out. So let me be clear. We're not talking about you have a political channel and it is a political debating channel. That's the way that your channel is set up. Here's the other piece. It is your channel. And you are allowed to have guidelines for your channel. Now, people can say what they want to say. Absolutely. Nobody can argue that. People are free to say whatever they want in the comments. But you know what you're free to do as a content creator? You are free to delete and block. So you both have freedoms. And from what I'm hearing, many who are struggling in this area, you're not using your freedom. So don't allow yourself to be bullied by somebody in the comment section, telling you how and why you should run your channel, what you should do. It's not their channel. It's not their decision. It doesn't matter what they think. And so no matter how often they come in the comments, no matter how snarky they want to be, you do not have to placate to them. So just how they can leave their comments, you can also delete and you can block. It is your channel. If you were living in an apartment building, as an example, and you are renting your apartment in that apartment building, your neighbor may have an opinion, right, about the color of your couch if they've seen what your apartment looks like. You can't stop them from having an opinion, But what you don't have to do is change the color of your couch because they don't like it. So what? They don't like it. So what? Opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. Now, there's another way to say it, but I'm not going to say it the curse word say. So I'm going to substitute noses for the other way that it's said. So let's break down why this happens. Reason number one, and this is a big one. Your content holds up a mirror to who they truly are and is triggering for them. So let's say that you run a channel about personal responsibility or healthy relationships, and you're talking about the positive actions that someone can take. But the troll is in a toxic relationship, and rather than seeing your content as general advice, because if you don't know them, you're not speaking to them specifically. It is a general video. You don't know them from a can of paint. But when a person is triggered, you have to remember they're emotionally dysregulated. So they're not even in their right mind. And so rather than seeing your content as general advice, it is like the stalker who watches the newscaster and they believe that the newscaster is sending them secret telepathic messages through the television, talking to them specifically, when the newscaster is simply presenting the news generally for that station. And so what happens is the individual in their not sound of mind, because they're not in their sound mind when they're behaving that way, is they see it as an accusation. And you're not making an accusation against them because you don't know them. It is a general video based on whatever your channel may be talking about, right? You could be talking about, again, healthy eating. And you can say, you need to eat more vegetables. Well, what's wrong with eating cake and cookies? And you never said anything about cake and cookies. You talking about vegetables. But the person in their ego-centered way will make your content about them as if you are speaking to them. So this says a lot about the personality you're dealing with. This is why you don't want to be going back and forth with a random troll that you don't know from a can of paint. You don't even want to respond. And so they may see this as a reminder of whatever they believe they're not doing. But that is not your problem. So they really aren't angry at you. They're enraged at what your content makes them reflect about themselves when they watch your message. And it's like they can't stay away. So attacking you is their way of trying to exercise power over you. But you are an autonomous human being. And so they don't get to dictate what you can say as far as your content. Just how they can leave a comment that is snarky or nasty, you can put the comment you want to put. But here's the thing about your comment section. You get to control that, whether they like it or not. You get to delete. You get to block. You get to set the tone of what you want. And whoever doesn't like it, tough. They don't have to come to your channel. That's the beauty of YouTube. There are millions of channels if you don't resonate. You hear me say it all the time. If I don't resonate with you, baby, at any time, you are free to leave. And we are not the airlines. You do not have to announce your departure. You can simply take off. 2, your content reveals a truth that they are not ready to face. So this reason is closely related to number 1. But this goes beyond a mirror. This is about a core fundamental belief that they hold about the world, themselves, and your content directly challenges that, challenges what they think. So to accept that you might be right would mean that their worldview would come crashing down. And this is a terrifying thing to have to process psychologically. So it's easier for them to lash out on you. So if you make a channel about personal responsibility and managing your emotions, and the individual doesn't manage their emotions, they lash out, they get into arguments with people over every little thing, and they're ready to physically have a fight over every little thing. And you talk about how as we become adults that we need to be more mindful that our choices have consequences even as children. But if your channel, specifically is for adults, that we need to keep our hands to ourselves, that we need to not explode over every little thing. And they believe that over the slightest little thing, they get to crash out and they have this entitled mindset. Why would they like your channel? But rather than leaving, look at the mindset. Rather than leaving and finding the space where they feel at home that resonates with them, They want to argue in your comments about they have the right to be angry if they want to be angry. They have the right to curse people out if that's what they want to do. They have the right to say whatever they want to say. You're not arguing about their rights because you don't know them and you don't care. But what you are doing is you are simply talking about what you've been led to talk about on your channel. But look at the sick and twisted mindset of the individual. 3, emotional dysregulation. They're emotionally dysregulated. So in simple terms, they lack the ability to exercise dominion over their emotions. So they are not able to manage their emotions, right? So for most of us, if we get annoyed or angry for any reason, but let's keep it about social media. If we get annoyed at something we see on social media, or there's a video that rubs us the wrong way, most people would click away and move on with their day because you have a lot to do. You have other things to do. You have goals. You have priorities to attend to. You have more important things than to argue with someone who you don't know. And so you may feel a spark of annoyance, but the difference between the person who is emotionally regulated, they know how to manage their emotions, they know how to exercise spiritual dominion over the old man, right? They're not going to let a spark of annoyance become a forest fire of rage, hostility, and just craziness. So the person who is not able to do that is going to feel a compulsive, almost addictive need to release that negative energy. And your digital doorstep is where they've chosen to dump it. Coping mechanism. And they are quite literally using you or trying to use you as a dumping ground because they don't have the tools to self-soothe. This is it. They don't have the coping skills and the tools to self-soothe. Now, I want you to watch for the level-headed, rational thinking people. I want you to watch in the comments section for people who are going to be severely triggered by what I'm saying, and they're going to go out and be super, super nasty. I want you to watch for that because they're going to prove the point by the comments that they leave in terms of, well, if I want to be nasty, I can be nasty. Do you? It's your life. So begin to just kind of notice that, because this is going to give you a measuring stick to be able to gauge between a person who has healthy coping skills and a person who has maladaptive and unhealthy coping skills, even online. And these are the very people that you want to avoid in your personal life as much as possible, because it shows that they have no way to regulate themselves, and you don't want to be around somebody like that. And that's probably why a lot of times they will unleash online, because when you are in the presence of people in real life and they see that type of behavior, people will naturally distance themselves from you. And so a lot of times they don't have an outlet, a healthy outlet, to be able to release those type of feelings. Reason number 4, they're demonically oppressed. So this is the one thing that we forget. Ephesians 6:12 lets us know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So this is for those of you who have Bible-based channels. Even if you don't call it a Bible-based channel, but your content is done through a biblical lens, don't think for a minute that you are not going to have the enemy use people who are yielded to his will to try to create chaos. Now, remember what the Bible says, that God is not the author of confusion. This is why I'm very stern in my comments, that I will not allow people who cause confusion to just go buck wild. My comment section is not the Wild Wild West, but I have a team. But even if you don't have a team, right, you yourself can exercise discretion over what you want to allow in your comment section. For me, my team will delete and block when they start to see the craziness, so that there is no confusion, because confusion divides division. Divided vision births confusion, and God is not the author of confusion, right? That's what the Bible tells us. I'm going to give you the exact scripture. And so this is how you can tell that God is not in their comments. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, for God is not the author of confusion, but the God of peace. So if God is not the author of confusion, in accordance to 1 Corinthians 14:33, then the natural next question is, who is? Then it's Satan. So when a person is in that satanic space vibrationally, energetically, you don't want to meet them where they're at by replying to their demonically induced comments. you want to remove that demonic activity from your space, because God is not the author of confusion. And so if your channel promotes truth, discernment, we teach heavily on discernment, seeing through the craziness, seeing through the mask that people wear. So maybe you have a channel that deals with unmasking narcissism. You know narcissists are not going to like that. Why would a narcissist want you to give out valuable information about unmasking a narcissist? Because he or she may be afraid that the people who they're using as supply may be watching your channel and may be put up on game. Maybe you do a channel about entitled people and people who just use people until they have nothing left. Well, if that person is operating from an entitled users, takers mindset, why would they want that information out there for the people who they are acting entitled around, the people that they are using to finally be put up on game and say, wait a minute, I saw Susan's channel, I saw Mark's channel that talked about this, and I got some key points, and you know what, I'm not going to take it anymore. Why would they want people to be empowered through the content that you put out there? So you almost have to expect that. It is simply a spiritual attack manifesting through a keyboard. It is a spiritual attack manifesting through a keyboard. You got to remember that according to John 10:10, the thief, which is Satan, comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But Christ comes so that we may have life and have life more abundantly. And how does the thief steal, kill, and destroy? In numerous ways. But one of the ways is through other people. Through other people who were yielded to his will. And so when you are creating content that is Bible-based, when you are creating content about light, about love, about God, you are a beacon of light. And so why would the kingdom of wickedness celebrate that? Of course not. And why would not just the kingdom of wickedness, but the people who pledge their allegiance to the kingdom of wickedness, why would they want to do that? Why would they want to celebrate that? And you may be wondering, well, if that's how they feel, why would they just not stay away? Like, why don't they go over to the kingdom of darkness channels and be in that space? Well, it makes perfect sense according to Ephesians 6:12, why they can't stay away from you, why they can't stay away from me, because I get it too. None of us are immune. But Ephesians 6:12 says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against rulers, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now look what it says, wrestle. For you to wrestle with somebody, that means that it comes into contact with you. So when you are doing the work of God by way of your content, then those demons from people who are yielded to Satan's will, they're going to try to wrestle with what it is you're putting out there. They're going to try to fight you with what you're putting out there because they don't want that to get out. And a lot of times they're not even aware of where it's coming from, that they're demonically oppressed. So from a spiritual perspective, this is very real. And a lot of times people forget that this world is twofold. We have a physical world that we experience through the 5 physical senses, but there's the spiritual world also. And the 5th reason I want to touch on, and we will touch on this deeper in our wellness club, is unhealed wounds. So imagine someone who was deeply hurt by their caretaker, and you make a video about trying to move on with your life. Or maybe you're making a video about integrity in your marriage, and you have someone who is cheating on their husband or wife. Your content is poking at an open, festering wound that they have. And so their engagement sometimes is a distorted cry for help. But the thing is, they're not ready to heal. They just want to lash out at the doctor. This is like the doctor who is trying to give the patient a needle of something that they need to take for their own betterment, and the patient is kicking and fighting the doctor. So the doctor's trying to help, but the patient doesn't want to go through the difficult process of what you have to go through to get your healing and get the help. And so sometimes you got to realize you can't help everybody, that you're not called to everybody. I'm not called to everybody. I'm very clear So clear that I can't help everybody, that I constantly let people know, if this does not resonate with you, you need to go where you feel you're being helped. You need to go with content that aligns with what you feel is helpful to you. Why in the world would you waste the precious gift of your life force energy of time constantly coming to a channel that you say you hate and isn't helpful? That is absolutely insane. It would make sense for you to find the spaces and places that you feel are helpful to you. And if you are not ready to help and get help and you just want to lash out, do know that the content creator doesn't have to tolerate that. They can block and delete. You can comment all day, every day. That is your choice. But they can also exercise their choice to block and delete. So you both have choices. And there's nothing you can say or do to take away their choice. And so what does the healthy person do? Let's contrast this type of sick and twisted behavior with what a well-adjusted person does. So a well-adjusted person and those who are on their way to healing, because sometimes we're not well-adjusted yet, but we're getting there. So a well-adjusted person and those who are open to learning new ways of being, healthier ways of being, who are learning how to heal their lives, right? We're all at different stages. But what do they do when they see content or a content creator that they feel that, what do? They unsubscribe, right? Why would you subscribe to something that you claim you hate? They don't engage at all. They don't waste the precious resource of their life energy arguing with someone who will never acknowledge them in the comment section. I know, speaking for me personally, you'll never get acknowledged in my I will never reply to crazy, confusion-based, toxic, negative, lash out. I will never reply to that. So you will never get acknowledgement or validation. And so the well-adjusted person would not waste their precious resource of life energy arguing with someone who doesn't know them from a can of paint, who couldn't even pick them out in the lineup, who wouldn't even recognize them in the Walmart parking lot or the Target aisle, any of the Target aisles. And so let me say that again for the people in the back. Well-adjusted people who are taking off the old man, putting on the new man, people who are growing in the things of God. They don't waste their life energy because they exercise stewardship over their life. By exercising stewardship over their mind and their time. And so when you are a believer who is exercising stewardship, because God calls us to steward every gift and resource that he gives us, including the gift and resource of our time. That's not the best use of your time. And so the very fact that these trolls are spending hours of their one precious life, your one precious life, on someone they claim to despise is proof that their mindset is twisted. It is the behavior of a person in bondage. It is the behavior of a person chained to Satan. It is the behavior of a person who is chained to their own internal demons. So what do? You understand that it's not about you. You keep doing what God has called you to do. You understand that they're just projecting. Their obsession is a sign that you're hitting a nerve, that you're speaking truth, that you're being effective. Remember, light exposes. Light exposes. And what's the power move that you need to make? Delete and block, and never, ever, 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 that many evers engage. Put ever, ever, ever in the comments. Ever, ever, ever. Never, 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 ever. Deprive the fire of oxygen, because fire needs oxygen to spread. And so when they come with the fire of confusion, the fire of the sick and twisted, warped thinking, deprive the fire of oxygen. You are not their therapist. You are not their parent. You are a content creator who is doing whatever God has led you to do by way of your channel. You have to remember that your life's energy, this is very important, is for your mission and for the people who God has called you to uplift, to encourage, and to be a source of light. And the trolls in this twisted way are just proof that you are on the right track. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't dim your light for a troll. And please, please, please don't feed the trolls. Please don't argue with them in your comments. And if you see trollish behavior here, don't even respond. Don't respond. Don't give them no oxygen. My team has got this. My team will delete and block, because we do not support confusion here, because God is not the author of that. God is not the author of confusion. And particularly for those of you who have a Bible-based channel, when you are posting as the Lord leads, and you are posting very specific messages, and then you have somebody coming out of left field, that's not your responsibility. Don't even give that no energy. Don't even care about that. And so I hope that this has helped, because so many of you have reached out saying, Cassandra, I don't know what to do. Do I respond? No, do not respond. Do not feed the trolls. Your job is to focus on whatever God wants to do for you, with you, and through you, including whatever you're doing on your particular channel, whether it's here on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's TikTok, or some other social media platform where you were getting trolls in the comments who are trying to cause confusion. You got to remember that God is not the author of that. So I hope that this has helped. And remember that the wrestle is not the person. It's really not the troll. Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? But against rulers, authorities, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so this verse reminds us that the real enemy is not the twisted troll typing, but it is the spiritual forces of wickedness and confusion working through them. They're actually in a state of confusion because they're doing the opposite of what they say. Because when you hate something, you don't attach yourself to something you hate. So they're in a state of confusion, and God is not authoring that. They're not in a place of peace, because a peaceful person is so busy enjoying their peace, enjoying their joy. Think about it. I've never seen a happy hater, have you? When a person is in a place of peace, in a place of joy, they don't have the emotional bandwidth because they're too high on life. They don't have the time or the energy because they are too focused on what it is that they're trying to build, whether it's mentally, emotionally, socially, family-wise, financially, whatever it is they're doing, business-wise, ministry. They're too busy moving forward in their life that they don't even have that level of time to be caught up into what somebody else is doing, because they're busy focusing on what God has for them and what God is doing for them, with them, and through them. So do have empathy. Don't go back and forth. You can even put the trolls on your prayer list. Absolutely. Pray that they come out of the spirit of confusion. I pray that my trolls come out of the spirit of confusion. So pray that they come out of the spirit of confusion. Pray that they begin to see the light. Pray that they begin to see the gifts that God put inside of them. Because when you begin to really see the gifts God put inside of you and you cultivate those gifts, you are not on other people's platforms trying to create craziness and mayhem, because you're too busy cultivating gifts. That takes time. And you're dedicating your time to walking in purpose and destiny. And so pray that they begin to do that. Pray that they get the help that they need in managing their emotions. Pray that they get the help they need to manage their emotions in a safe place with someone who can help them do that. Whether it is a support group or whether it is a one-on-one. They should have like troll support group. I don't know if they have a troll support group, but that would be helpful, like a troll emotional support group. And so you can pray in those areas. Pray that they begin to see what God put inside of them. Pray that they come out of darkness into God's marvelous light. So you definitely can lift everybody up in prayer, right? We all need prayer, each and every one of us. So with that being said, I'm going to let you know what we got going on. So we have the workshop coming up that a lot of you look forward to, and that is our vision board workshop. That is happening November 15th. It's on Zoom for those who are interested, and we're going to be creating a vision board to finish the year strong and start the new year with greater clarity. So some people ask if vision boards are biblical, and my answer to that remains the same. It depends who's teaching it and what they're teaching it from. So if someone who practices the occult, New Age, Wicca, they're teaching from that, they practice that, then the obvious answer is no, it is not biblical. No. My workshop, which is based on the Bible verse Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it may run with it, is really about writing the vision that God gave you and really thinking about how to unlock that vision. So in today's times, we do not write on stone tablets, right? So the scripture is write the vision and make it plain on tablets, but we don't write on stone tablets. So now we, write on paper. So it's really reflecting on the vision God gave you for your life and beginning to map out that process. So that's what we'll be doing in the workshop. You will see a link in the video description box that will take you to Eventbrite, where you can find out more about the workshop if it's something that interests you. And then in December, we're doing the Discernment 101. So we've done that workshop a few times. A lot of people asked, when is it going to be offered again, because they weren't able to get into the other classes. So I'm doing it again on December 4th. That link is in the video description box as well. It's a Zoom workshop for those who are interested in that. Last but not least, you're always welcome to worship with us on Sundays at our Church by Phone Sunday service. Is free. It's open to the public. And this is a time a lot of people are going through it and need upliftment and encouragement. And so if you want to be encouraged, if you want to be uplifted, you are invited to join us on Sundays. You can go to the ministry website to get the details. And that's CassandraMacMinistries.com, CassandraMacMinistries.com. You can get the details for Church by Phone at the website. The link is also in the video description box. I want to say a big thank you to those of you who support our channel and ministry with your financial offerings. We couldn't do what we do without you. We know times are hard for everyone. We're also feeling the strain financially. And so we thank you. Every bit helps. Every bit counts. So a big thank you to everyone who supports this ministry. And if this ministry has been a blessing to you and you're able to do so, and God has put it on your heart and you would like to be a blessing to us by sowing a seed, you can go to our ministry website, CassandraMacMinistries.com. You'll see a button that says donate, and you can follow the prompts from there. Again, a big thank you to everyone who supports this channel. And if you know of a content creator who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Let's do our best to be kind. God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day. To unlock every gift inside, let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired, to rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals, be happy. You can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra Mack. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack.